Hello everyone, welcome to this series on the history of English literature. And in this video, we are going to discuss the development of literary forms in the age of Chaucer. Introduction. The age of Chaucer, encompassing the late 14th century, witnessed significant advancements in both poetical and prose forms of literature. This period marked a transition where various literary forms began to separate and evolve, contributing to a richer and more diverse literary landscape. Key figures like Geoffrey Chaucer played a pivotal role in these developments, leaving a lasting impact on English literature. Development of poetry. The development of poetry during the Chaucerian age saw the emergence of distinct forms, each finding its unique structure and coherence. This period was characterized by the refinement of various poetic forms, including the lyric, ballad, allegory, descriptive, narrative, and metrical romance. These forms not only enriched the literary tradition but also set the stage for future poetic endeavors. Lyric poetry. Lyric poetry, particularly religious and love lyrics, continued to flourish during this period. While Chaucer himself contributed little to this genre, numerous anonymous bards added to the common stock. Notable pieces from this era include The Nut Brown Maid, a hybrid between the lyric and the ballad, and the Beautiful Carols of the Church. These works, though difficult to date precisely, reflect the period's lyrical creativity and emotional expression. Rise of the ballad. By the late 14th century, the traditional ballad had become a significant source of popular entertainment, especially in the north of England. Iconic examples such as Chevy Chase, Sir Patrick Spens, and the Robin Hood poems highlight the ballad's themes of love, local legends, heroic feats, supernatural events, and religious stories. Characterized by its simple and impersonal tone, the ballad form typically followed an ABCB rhyme scheme with alternating lines of 4 and 3 iambic feet. Its reliance on refrains, repetition, and a focus on memorability distinguished it from the more elaborate and aristocratic romance. Rise of the allegory. The rise of allegory during the Chaucerian age significantly influenced all branches of poetry. Despite its crude and artificial nature, allegory served as an effective literary device for expounding moral and religious lessons. This period saw a proliferation of poems dealing with courts of love, houses of fame, and the 7 deadly sins. Chaucer himself was not immune to this trend, particularly in the early stages of his career. The allegorical method reached its peak in later works such as The Fairy Queen. Descriptive and narrative poems. Descriptive and narrative poems also saw significant development during this period, with the Canterbury Tales by Chaucer standing as the outstanding example. Other notable contributions came from poets like Langland and Gower. Despite common weaknesses such as long speeches, irrelevant episodes, and an imperfect sense of plot proportion, the best examples of narrative poetry from this era, including Chaucer's works, demonstrated a powerful grip on central interest, shrewd observation, humor, and rapid narration. Metrical romance. Although the metrical romance remained popular, its great vogue from the previous century was on the decline. Among the lower classes, it was gradually being supplanted by the ballad. Additionally, the growing favor shown to the fabula, a short French tale, realistic in subject and humorous satirical in style, led to the creation of tales similar to those of the coarser Chaucer type. This shift indicated a move towards more realistic and accessible forms of storytelling. Development of prose. The field of English prose expanded rapidly during the Chaucerian age. Noteworthy prose works from this period include The Travels of Mandeville, written for amusement rather than instruction. Wycliffe's translation of the Bible and John of Trevisa's prose version of Higgins' Polychronicon. However, the most significant development in prose was the emergence of clear and vigorous writing in civic records and personal letters by individuals such as Pastons, Sellis, and Stoners. These everyday writings demonstrated a growing command of the native idiom across various community sections. Characteristics of early English prose. Early English prose from this period was characterized by its simplicity, straightforwardness, and freedom for stylistic ornamentation. Civic records and personal letters illustrated the practical and functional use of prose, emphasizing clarity and directness. This style contrasted sharply with the more consciously literary prose and reflected the increasing sophistication and accessibility of the English language. Conclusion. The age of Chaucer was a period of significant literary evolution marked by advancements in both poetry and prose. The development of distinct poetic forms and the expansion of prose writing contributed to a richer and more diverse literary tradition. These innovations not only shaped the literary landscape of the time but also left a lasting influence on English literature, setting the stage for future generations of writers and poets. The works of Geoffrey Chaucer and his contemporaries remain a testament to the creative and transformative power of literature during this pivotal period in history. So this was the discussion on the development of literary forms in the age of Chaucer. We will meet in the next video and discuss some other topic. Until then, goodbye and thank you.